morning, good Monday morning to you all. Hope you had an awesome weekend and are ready for another amazing week as we're drawing to the end of June. And it's last night, not before, was the shortest day of the year down here in Australia. So, woohoo, we're on our way back to summer. And just like feels like winter hasn't even really got going, but hey, it's just how it is, what it is. So today what I want to do is this whole week's going to be a series where I'm going to start looking at some of the beliefs that, or the types of beliefs that hold us back from getting what we want. And these are the beliefs that we must begin to shift if we actually truly want to make change in our life. And one of the things that we need to look at is, well, hold on, what are these beliefs and how do they hold us back? So today I want to start off with the, when we look at the beliefs and we look at our lives, if you could remove a certain belief from your senses, your brain, so that you could improve your life, your business, your relationships, or your health, what would it be? What would you cut out of your life? And when you think about it, we have certain beliefs that are holding us back from achieving our goals, our what we want to achieve. And one of the things that we look at is, and something that Wayne Dyer said, when we change the way we look at things, the way we look at things change. And so we get a different perspective on what's going on. The first category that I want to look at, that I'm going to start at today, because I'm going to do one of these each day so it doesn't get too much and flood your brain too much. The first category of the belief, it's the belief about your beliefs. Neuroscience, well, let me spit that out, has taught us that the brain doesn't change your beliefs to fit your life. Your life changes to fit your beliefs. And when you look at that, how many people are going around trying to think that their life out there, it's all wrong, and they're trying to change what's externally outside of them, yet they forget to stop and actually have a look inside of, hold on, what must I be thinking? What must I be believing to be creating this reality for myself? Because if we just keep blaming things outside of us, we actually aren't taking charge, or aren't looking at where the core is coming from. When we, in a way that we see this, is if you look at what's coming in through your five senses, you'll begin to notice the way that you see life. And that's how you're getting the filters. And what's coming in through your five senses is what's showing you what you believe to be true. What neuroscience tells us is that our brain creates our life to match our beliefs. So when you stop and look at that, your external experience is a byproduct or a reflection of what you believe to be true. And a great way of looking at that is, when you go skiing, if you've ever been skiing and you put your goggles on, I've got goggles that tend to be an orangey colour, and when I look around at out at the sky and the snow, everything's got an orange tinge. So if I was bringing this in the context of your brain, if I was looking at that and going, wow, the sky is orange, the snow is orange. But knowing that it's not true, I realize that that's just a belief through looking through my senses. How often do you look in your life and see, say, an orange sky or an orange snow? and think it's true, but it's just your belief that is showing you it. It's not the truth. You know, because one of the things is we get a shite load of information coming into our mind at all times. You know, the beliefs delete, distort, and rearrange things to match what we filter and believe to be true. And so long as it matches our filters, it will then be able to get through and show up in our life. And as you're listening to me here now, just looking at this, notice what else is going on in your life. You know, can you hear the kids moving around the house maybe? Or are the birds chirping outside? Now, all these other things are happening in your senses, but are you filtering them out so you don't notice them? It isn't until you bring your awareness around to them that you begin to notice what's actually going on. And this is constantly what's happening to us as we are moving forward. So if you're constantly filtering, then you've got to start asking yourself the question, where am I holding myself separate? Where am I stopping myself from being able to see what the truth is, what's really going on? You know, how do you see your life, your business, your relationships, or your health? And the way that you see them determines what's possible. So if you see that your business is struggling, then you will see, you have to look at your belief underneath that you are creating a business that struggles. If you see that your relationship is got bad communication or you're not getting along, then you will then experience likewise. And this is one of the things that when I work with people with terminal illnesses and deep illnesses, when all that's going on is they are in dis-ease in some area of their life. They have a belief carrying on in their neurological system and in their body and in their environment that they are in dis-ease. And when we are able to shift that belief to the truth that they are total health, then the body heals itself. And this happens in all areas of life. So it's about becoming aware of what's your perspective of your belief. Because your beliefs are a perspective of what you hold to be true for you. They're not right, real, or true. They're just a perspective. That's all that they are. Now, the tricky thing here is we don't see our beliefs as beliefs, as we see them how things are. And see, if you look at your life, you go, well, that's just how life is. It just is. And you go, well, no, it's actually a belief. And you can be listening to me here and say, oh, Doug, that's just a belief. Well, you're right. It's a belief that you have a belief. And you could have a belief that you don't agree with what I'm saying here, but it's a belief that you don't agree. And you go, oh, shit, I'm getting caught whichever way I go. And this is where we have to step back. And we have to look at our beliefs and go, oh, what am I actually believing to be true? What actually is true? Because when we look at anything and we look at the truth of what's going on, we must recognize that a lot of the happenings in our reality are just perspectives or beliefs of what's going on. So if you're finding you're getting stuck and you're getting caught, then you've got to ask yourself, what's the unconscious belief that I'm carrying here? What's the belief that I'm actually running that is creating this reality? And when we receive, when we recognize that we are just perceiving, then we have the opportunity here to begin to loosen our grip on our beliefs. And we begin to be able to say, well, hold on, what happens if I actually looked at this from a slightly different angle? And the idea, and what I'm wanting to get across here, if you look at it and recognize that if you just shift, are able to look at your beliefs, about your beliefs, it begins to shift the perception and make them more malleable so that you can begin to recognize whether it is working in your best interest, having that belief. And when you do that, you begin to be able to open up, to be able to create maybe change in your life. And it's a belief. And when we shift our perspective, we just shift it, so much can happen. One of the first things, we start to look at is, well, hold on, the belief, once it becomes so, we start taking that belief on, it starts becoming invisible, becoming unconscious. And it's an unconscious pattern that is running in our life. And so it's sort of running below the surface, so to speak, and we don't even recognize that it's running. It's one of those undercurrents that when we recognize it, we are able to change whatever we want. And if you've got an area of your life that's not working and you feel stuck, there's a good sign that you are holding too rigid to a belief. And you go, shit, I'm hanging on to something here. Okay, so what am I hanging on to? What's the belief that I'm hanging on to that's holding me rigid from being able to become more malleable, more flexible, to be able to move and change and take a different perspective to create the change that I need in my life? When we do that, magic happens. And it's, baby, that's just, geez, why was I hanging on to that for so long? And it was just because you had a perspective or a belief that you thought that was real, that was right, real or true. And it's not. Because, you have it can be like you have the belief that the sky is blue. And you look out there and go, well, yeah, it is. What are you going on about? Or at sunset or at sunrise, that the sky changes color. It can be, beautiful orange or red. When it's cloudy and misty, it tends to be grey. At night, it tends to be dark. It's not blue. So is it true that the sky is blue? And I know some of you can go down all sorts of rabbit holes with that. But the thing that we're looking at, a truth, is true all the time. So we must look at the sky and we'll have a belief that it is blue. But hold on, it changes. So then is the sky blue or not? And all it does is we then start questioning our belief. And we start unraveling it. You've got to remember that it's a perception that we have. Some of our old beliefs don't align with what we want, yet we're unwilling to change them. And we keep getting the same result. Geez, we'll experience that. You go and bang yourself on the limb and keep banging your head on the wall and wanting to change, but you don't step back and actually look at what you're actually banging your head on. I think it's called, Einstein calls it insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. We step back, have a look. What belief am I hanging on to that's causing that result? So you've got to, getting back to this is allowing yourself to look at the belief that you need to be able to change your beliefs. And if you believe that you can't change your beliefs, then so shall your experience be. Because you will prove yourself right that you can't change them. Yet when you know and you shift your perspective around being able to shift the belief that you've been hanging on to, then so shall your experience be. And you'll begin to create the experience on what you choose to believe. And it doesn't have to be hard and it doesn't have to be painful. Morning, Anastasia. It's just a belief. If you believe it to be hard, then congratulations, that will be your experience. And if you believe it takes a long time, then again, congratulations, you'll prove yourself right. Yet when we look at it, we allow ourselves for our beliefs to become malleable, and we recognize that our beliefs filter through all areas of our being, all areas of our life, then we go, wow, what would happen if I actually looked at my belief here? So do you have a belief that you're stuck in your beliefs? I used to. I didn't realize that I could change them. But luckily, things have changed. And I catch people like this all the time. They wonder why they keep getting treated a certain way at work. They wonder why their relationship keeps shorting out a certain way. And they wonder why they keep missing out on opportunities. They're all beliefs. And one of the things that we need to recognize is that the beliefs becomes habits. Our thoughts become habits. We just unconsciously have them running. Boom, boom. Last night I'm sitting there and going, okay, I've had enough to eat. And the next thing I find myself in the freezer getting some ice cream out and go, you didn't need this. A little peptide inside of me thought, well, it won't hurt. There's a belief that, I need ice cream, so I'll go and eat it. And I watch it, it's just a habit. But there's the unconscious pattern that runs. I'm aware of it, and then the change begins to happen. We'll look at that in a little while. So one of the things is start noticing your habits, noticing your patterns. Noticing when the rises come up. Notice when the people get caught. Notice how people are responding to you. And you look at what belief must I be carrying for people to treat me this way. And by just this first stage, you'll start loosening the grip here on what your beliefs are. What your beliefs around your beliefs are. You can begin to start changing. And that will begin to help you to start unraveling. And when we look at this, we begin to be able to move forward and create a better life and go for the goals that you want. Because often, when people aren't achieving their goals, it's because their beliefs don't align with the goals that they choose. And so it's about shifting your perspective, shifting those beliefs to come into alignment. And when we align, we are able to achieve that which we desire. I know there's been a lot in there, but it's really important for us to be able, if we want to create what we want, we need to become aware of the belief we have about our beliefs. And anything that we believe is going on is just a belief. And the belief of that belief is just a belief. And you start looking, you go, crazy, it drives me nuts. You allow yourself to pull back. And again, with the group that I work with at 10:30, we will begin to take that deeper. I'll actually do some energy work on it, and we will drop into unraveling this so that you can hold the space in making that happen. I'll put a link up for those if anyone's interested in beginning to join that group. There's a little membership site that I run to help people achieve and make these changes. Okay, so awesome, guys. It's been a bit of a longer one today, but it's really important. Tomorrow I'll go deeper into the next belief, type of belief that we need to begin to shift to create the change in our life. Okay, enjoy, blessings, and have an awesome day.